Why does your cat become a completely different animal at night? During the day, they may seem calm, quiet, sleepy, almost lazy, but the second the lights dim and the house gets still, everything changes. They start running, staring, meowing, jumping on things they ignored all day, and sometimes it feels so strange that owners wonder if their cat is suddenly acting out on purpose. But the truth is, your cat is not becoming weird at night. They're becoming more like themselves. In fact, some of the most natural, most instinctive, and even most emotional parts of your cat only show up after dark. And if you've been brushing that behaviour off as random chaos, you may be missing some of the clearest signals your cat has been sending you. Because nighttime doesn't just change your cat's energy, it changes how they experience the world and how they experience you. So before you assume your cat is just being difficult after dark, you need to understand what's really happening when the sun goes down. Most people look at a cat racing through the hallway at midnight and think the same thing. Why are they doing this now, after all you fed them? You played with them earlier. The house is quiet. The day is over. Shouldn't your cat be settling down too? But here's what most owners never realise. Your schedule is not your cat's natural schedule. Human life is built around daylight. Wake up in the morning, work during the day, rest at night. But cats did not evolve that way. They evolved for the low-light hours, dawn, dusk, the moments when the world is dim quiet and full of subtle movement. That means when the house starts winding down, your cat's brain may actually be shifting in the opposite direction. Not because they want to annoy you, but because their instincts are waking up. And once you understand that a lot of those strange nighttime behaviours stop looking random, they start making sense. We'll get to the deepest reason later in the video, because one of the most emotional things your cat does at night often happens when you're not even fully awake to notice it. Point 1. Night activates their real hunting brain. Let's start with the most obvious shift. Energy. Have you ever noticed how a cat that looks sleepy all afternoon can suddenly explode into movement after dark? 1 minute they're stretched out like they have no interest in life. The next they're sprinting from room to room, jumping off furniture, chasing invisible things and slamming through the house like something flipped a switch. Most people call these zoomies and laugh them off, but underneath that burst of energy is something much more ancient. Cats are naturally crepuscular. That means they are wired to be most active at dawn and dusk when light is low and prey is easier to detect. Their senses are tuned for exactly that environment. Their eyes work incredibly well in dim light. Their ears pick up the smallest sounds. Their whole nervous system becomes more alert when the world is quieter and darker. So when your cat seems to come alive at night, they are not misbehaving. They are stepping into the time of day their body was built for. This is why a toy your cat ignored at 2 p.m. suddenly becomes irresistible at 10 p.m. This is why they stare at shadows, jump at tiny noises, or begin hunting behaviour out of nowhere. Their brain is moving into instinct mode, and if that instinct doesn't get an outlet, the energy has to go somewhere. Point 2. The house feels different to them after dark. Now here's where it gets more interesting. Your home does not feel the same to your cat at night as it does during the day. To you, it's the same room, the same furniture, the same walls. But to your cat, the environment changes dramatically once daylight fades. Sounds become clearer. Small movements become more noticeable. Air currents shift. Shadows deepen. Familiar objects look different from a lower angle and under lower light. Cats are incredibly sensitive to subtle environmental changes. So when night comes, your cat may begin checking spaces they ignored earlier. They look at corners, doorways, hallways, windows, not because something is necessarily wrong, but because their world suddenly contains different information. This is one reason cats often seem more alert at night. They are not just reacting to darkness, they are scanning a changed landscape. That's also why your cat may stare into a room freeze in a doorway, or focus intensely on what looks like nothing to you. They are picking up details you can't detect, small sounds in the walls, a shift in light from outside, the movement of leaves reflected on a surface. Your cat is not being creepy. They're doing what their senses tell them to do. They're checking their world when it becomes most alive to them. Point 3. Night is when territory checking kicks in. Have you ever noticed that your cat seems to patrol the house at night? They move from room to room, pause in certain places, look out doors and windows, jump onto familiar surfaces almost like they are doing rounds. Most owners don't think much of it. But this behaviour is very important. Cats are territorial animals. Even the most affectionate house cat still carries the instinct to monitor and maintain territory. During the day there are more distractions, more noise, more human movement, but at night the environment gets quiet enough for those territorial instincts to come forward more clearly. Your cat may be checking entrances, scanning windows, revisiting their favourite observation points. They are not just wandering, they are updating their mental map of space. Is everything the same? Does it still smell right? Is every route clear? In the wild, this kind of checking helps a cat stay safe. Indoors, the instinct remains. And this is why some cats become especially focused on doors and windows at night, not because they necessarily want to leave, but because those are boundary points, important places in the structure of their territory. If your cat becomes more alert or serious after dark, part of what you're seeing may simply be your cat taking inventory of the world they believe they are responsible for. Point 4. Some night behaviours are actually about you. Now, here's the part most people miss. Not all nighttime behaviours are about hunting or territory. Some of it is about you. Have you ever had your cat suddenly come closer at night than they do during the day? Maybe they climb onto the bed, sit near your legs, walk across your dial, curl into your spot, or just quietly appear beside you in the dark. During the daytime, your cat may seem independent, busy, distracted. But at night, when the whole environment gets quieter, some cats shift toward closeness. And that's not random. In the silence of nighttime, your cat can focus more clearly on the people they are bonded to. Your scent is stronger on blankets, pillows, and beds. Your breathing is steady. Your body is still. Your voice is absent. Your movements are reduced. In other words, you become easier for your cat to read. And for many cats, that makes you feel safer. This is one reason some cats choose nighttime to show closeness. They don't show during the day. They lie near you, watch you sleep, rest beside you. Not because they suddenly became more affectionate after dark, but because darkness removes so many distractions and makes emotional signals easier for them to process. If this is making you see your cat differently, take a second to like the video and subscribe, because most owners only notice the surface of what their cat does at night. And the next part explains one of the strangest nighttime behaviours of all. Something many people think is annoying, but which actually reveals something much deeper. Point 5. Night meowing is not always what you think. One of the most confusing things cats do at night is vocalise more. Suddenly they're meowing in the hallway, calling from another room, or making sounds that they don't use much during the day. And a lot of owners assume it means the cat is bored, demanding, or just trying to wake them up. Sometimes that's partly true, but often nighttime meowing has more than one layer. First, your cat may simply be more active and more alert, which means they are more likely to vocalise. Second, nighttime changes how separated spaces feel. If your cat can't find you right away or hears you, but doesn't see you, they may use sound to reconnect. Some cats also vocalise more in the dark because there's less visual input and more reliance on sound. But there's another possibility that matters emotionally. In some bonded cats, nighttime vocalisation is a form of checking, a way of locating you, reconfirming your presence, making contact with the person that they associate with safety. This is especially noticeable in cats that walk through the house, calling and then become quiet once they find you. To the owner, it may seem like random noise, but to the cat, it may be a social signal. Where are you? Are you still here? I found you. That makes the behaviour feel very different when you understand what may be underneath it. Point 6. They may be watching over you more than you realise. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and found your cat already awake, sitting upright, staring at the doorway, facing the room, watching something while you slept? It can feel unsettling, almost eerie. But for many cats, this is not random stillness, it is alert rest. Cats do not sleep the way humans do. Even when they relax, part of their system stays ready. Their ears remain active. Their brain stays responsive to changes in sound and movement. At night, when your body is fully at rest, your cat may shift into a more watchful role without you even realizing it. Not because they consciously think I need to protect this human, but because bonded animals often stay more alert around resting group members. Your cat may place themselves near the door near the foot of the bed, or in a position where they can monitor the room while staying close to you. Some owners interpret this as strange vigilance, but in reality it may reflect one of the quietest forms of attachment. Your cat is staying near you while their instincts remain active. In a very feline way, they are resting and watching at the same time. Point 7. The deepest nighttime behaviour happens when you're asleep. Now let's come back to the most emotional part of all. Some of your cat's deepest bond behaviours happen at night precisely because you're not doing anything. You're not reaching for them, not talking to them, not calling them, not asking for interaction. You're simply there, still, predictable, safe, and for a cat that matters enormously. During the day, your presence can be intense. You move suddenly, you touch, you speak, you leave, you return. But at night, you become steady, and that steadiness changes how your cat experiences you. This is why some cats who are only mildly affectionate during the day become deeply bonded at night. They sleep against your legs, curl into your side, take your spot the second you get up, watch you quietly, return to the bed again and again. In those moments, your cat is not responding to treats or toys or active attention. They are responding to the safest version of you, the quiet version, the predictable version, the version that lets them fully relax or fully observe without pressure. And that may be why some of the strongest signs of trust show up after dark, because nighttime strips away the noise of the day and leaves only what your cat feels most clearly. By now, it should be clear that your cat does not act strange at night for just one reason. Their hunting brain wakes up, their senses sharpen, their territory instinct comes forward, their environment feels different, their bond with you may show up more clearly. But here's the part that changes everything. Some of the most meaningful nighttime behaviours are not signs that your cat is difficult. They are signs that your cat is most fully themselves after dark. And sometimes their deepest feelings show up in those hours when the world gets quiet enough for instinct comfort and attachment to become visible. The late night patrol, the quiet stare, the soft meow, the sudden closeness, the decision to sleep beside you while you're unaware. These are not random pieces of chaos. They are windows into how your cat experiences safety territory and connection. Which means one of the biggest mistakes owners make is thinking, nighttime only reveals the annoying side of a cat. In reality, it may reveal the most honest side. So the next time your cat seems different after dark, don't rush to label it as strange. Look closer, because your cat is not becoming worse at night. They are becoming more instinctive, more alert, more emotionally honest. Night changes the world for them. It sharpens their senses, wakes up their patterns and brings forward behaviours you might never fully see during the day. And sometimes hidden inside all that nighttime energy is something deeply personal. A cat checking their world, a cat looking for you, a cat staying close while you sleep, a cat showing trust in the only way they know how. So yes, your cat may act different at night, but that difference might not be random at all. It might be the clearest look you ever get at